Um, Water is such a valuable resource. Can you speak to me about the importance of water, the resource of water, to the people of India moving forward, and how that has changed in the last 20 years? And if you could start with here in India, so people who watch this know, yeah, we're here.
Water is not only important, water is life. Water is short, not only in India, but in most part of the world, possibly with an exception of Canada. Water is going to be short everywhere. And I believe that there is no life without water, whether it is human life or any other life. If the globe has to survive, then it has to have this commodity. This commodity is getting short and shorter by the day, and I am just told that the Third World War, when it is fought, if it is fought, it will be on account of scarcity of water. And water is the bottom line for food security. Water is something which is essential for environmental balance. Water is something which is getting shorter because of the climate change and the global warming. Water is getting short because the number of people on the earth is increasing. Water is short because their lifestyles are changing. Water is short because industrialization is taking place. Water is short because urbanization is taking place. A villager in India today, even today, uses only 20 liters of water, while the people in the cities, they use as much as 200. And I am told in a place like United States, they use as much as 5,000 liters. They have swimming pools and they have whatnot, including their lawns and in their small house and everything. So they are using as much as 5,000 liters. So somebody is using 20 liters, somebody is using 5,000 liters. Tell me how can this commodity be different to anybody? We have to be very conscious of the fact that water is essential for food security, for the security per se on this earth.
Okay, so.
Look, in India, there used to be rivers and rivulets, small ones, that will always flow for all round the year. And so we never thought it necessary, at that point in time, that we should have any wells. Then the first step was that we went for open wells. Then when the open wells dried up, then we got into the bores or the boring or the drilling of the earth. And then there was no limit to it. First we went to 50 feet down, drilled the bore, then 100, then 200, then 300, then 500, and today we have gone up to 1,000. So when we have gone as deep as 1,000 feet, we are almost touching the aquifer, and we are as if mining the water. We are taking it from below and putting it up to the field. True, this situation never existed before, and today we are forced to do that because the industries are not recycling the water. The domestic water is also not getting recycled. If none of these things happen and we continue to use more water for the reasons I explained to you, then the net outcome is deficit.
One last question for me, and then listen. How does the water change when you start going that deep? Full sentence.
When you start going that deep, the water becomes costly. The water which is there, if it is close to the sea, then the sea water gets in. Water, if it is close to a mine, then the mining stuff will get into it. So lots of these kinds of impurities that get into that at that stage. at various stages, that I would say. If you have some close by, you see a dirty pool, for example, that water will find its way, to this particular well that we are drilling. So water quality has become also an equal issue as availability. Availability, as a matter of fact, can be managed, but the quality needs to be managed. And that realization that we need to look after the quality has also come up very recently. In India today we find that governments are making laws and rules and regulations, for use of water and for reuse of water and for recharging of water and whatnot.
Thank you.
What has been your vision for water purification in rural areas?
In rural areas. Water purification in rural areas is the need of the hour. Because if really anybody needs purified water, it is the villager. Because in cities we are already getting water which is not really purified, it is not even filtered in that sense of the term. But we are putting a lot of chlorine into it and killing everything, which is harmful. But chlorine itself is harmful, is forgotten. And therefore, I believe personally that a villager is the most needy person for purified water, drinking purified water. If we can provide him with a small quantity, let us say 5 liters per person, then in that case, I think we would have crossed at least 40% of the diseases that are waterborne diseases will stop. The expense of the government or the society on health and hospitals will also get reduced. So water does not only, purified water does not only help humans, it helps every other living being. And particularly in rural India, this is totally a neglected aspect as of today. And therefore, I wish that we attend to it.
This view that you have clearly shows that you care for the people of India, especially those in rural villages, very, very deeply. And I noticed when we come into the entrance of Jain, there's a sign that says doing well by doing good. And I wanted to ask you, what does that phrase mean to you? Why is this so important to you?
Normally it is understood that provision of water, purified water, all these are philanthropic activities. Well, in a way they are philanthropic. But while you are adding value to the lives of other people, and when the value is being added, let us say 10 units, then in that case what we need to do is, if you are taking 1 unit from it, you are doing well for yourself. But you are helping somebody to have 10 units, which are profitable. So you can do well for yourself by doing good, because you are adding to the productivity of the people, you are adding to their inherent power, to do something good. So the good also multiplies. And I believe that's the very correct phrase for describing the character of this organization. This organization does not believe in consumption. It believes in production and productivity per unit of water, per unit of land, and per unit of the resource employed. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Better than
Great.